8 Jack Moves Pod. We here with Damon Campbell, the PR specialist.
Yes, sir.
The celebrity fixer.
Yes, sir.
We here with his artist, DollaSign.
DollaSignJ, baby.
DollaSignJ.
There you go, baby. I was waiting for that.
Appreciate you brothers coming in.
Yeah, thank you,
problem,
man.
gang.
Thank you.
So we start every podcast with a shot of our sponsor.
And
Yave
unfortunately,
Tequila.
because I'm sitting on this side, I got to be the one to pour all the damn shots. But I'll be glad to. Very thankful for these guests.
Yeah,
Very
so
thankful for my boy Dame. My boy,
Very
how you
thankful
been,
to be
brother?
here.
How you been, man? It's been a long time.
I've been well. Just journeying through life like a video game. It's a common.
The difference between that, man. The difference between life and that video game, man. You get to start all over. You get that reset button.
That's a fact.
You
No
get
reset.
Have
life.
you pressed your reset button yet?
Nah, I think I'm still.
So you still on that one? You still on player
gain
one?
extra lives every now and then.
You still get extra lives?
Yeah.
I hear that shit, man. I hear that. All right, let me before we get into the deepness of the convo.
Let's take these shots real quick.
All right, that's good, right? Let me get one of those for you, brother.
Since you're a fixer, you know what I wanted to talk to you about this whole Deshaun Watson shit going on, bro.
There's a few things I want to talk to this man about.
I want to know how you would fix that.
You heard? This is my first interview right here.
This is your first one.
Your first one? Oh man,
I know you
this is
started making
monumental.
music, 2017, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This is
I ain't gonna lie. I've been making music. I've been playing like instruments since I was like 3 years old though.
Bro, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna ask you. I need to get into that too, brother. Trust me. Let's do this shot, and then we're gonna get busy. All right. So let me make sure my setup is right, because our sponsors are killers. We set it up wrong. All right, so that's yours, brother.
Good looking game.
This is yours.
So to our sponsor, Yave Tequila, unlock possibilities to the top.
Salute.
Salud.
Salud.
That's not bad, huh? Smooth. What y'all think about that? What y'all think? And a mango too.
Yeah, I can
I don't
taste
even.
it.
Yeah,
I
not
don't
bad.
really like alcohol, but this shit good.
Not bad
Yeah,
for
smooth, right? You don't
for
got
a
that
flavor
burn
drink,
like
right?
that.
Oh, hold on. Why you give it back to me? Everybody keep their shot. I don't want to.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, let the people know who you are, what you do, and everything.
Nah,
I know who
got
you
you.
are, but
My name is DollaSignJ. I'm from New York. 20 years old. I'm an artist. I'm a producer and an audio engineer.
okay.
But I'm mainly focused on this artistry right now.
So you say you're 20 years old?
I'm gonna turn 21 in like 2 days.
Oh, you're Aries. Shout out to the Aries gang,
Damn,
baby.
we
You know what that is.
wait a
baby.
minute. We shouldn't have gave him a shot.
Oh, I just thought about that.
You said you was
He
gonna
alright,
be 22,
man.
right?
He alright, man. He
alright.
He got a probationary period. 2 weeks
You're
before.
under the supervision of some adults over here. You'll be
Yeah,
all
you're
right.
good, man. But you're not. Your music is definitely not like infant music. It's definitely like in contrast to you being young. It's definitely some really good music that I've listened to lately within the last few hours. And real quick, I see that you had an article. There was I can't remember what article it was, but that said you do a lot of your own music as far as composing.
Oh yeah, I
engineering.
work at a studio for me, so I record all my own music, go in and out the booth. I punch in freestyle, and sometimes I even make my own beats. But most of my beats I be making for other artists that come to my studio. So
Most of the music that's on the YouTube, is that your beats and stuff like that too?
some of them, but all of them is majority of them. I say like 95% of them is engineered by me though, and my other engineer J Bars,
That's important.
cause
Nice.
he the one who taught me, cause he nice too. You feel me? So
So you
I
didn't
ain't
go to
gonna lie.
school for engineering. You self-taught, or
you know it's crazy. I went to college for audio engineering, but I dropped out cause I seen that. I don't know. I felt like they wasn't teaching me what I wanted to know. I ain't go there to make money. You feel me? I wanted to know how to engineer, so I could make my own music.
Right, the money gonna come later. It'll be
Yeah.
there. It's gonna be there.
right.
But they wasn't teaching me what I wanted to know. And then my son, I was going to the studio, and then I ended up working with them as a team. We're a team now. But he the engineer. He taught me how to engineer. And he really taught me how to go crazy with it. You feel me?
So what was it that you, if you want to be a little bit more specific, what was it that you wanted to know? You like,
Basically, how to make your voice sound like fire. Like I would listen to all the artists I like now, Lil Durk, G Herbo, and then I record myself. I'm be like, damn, my song don't sound like that though. And I know I'm saying it right. It got to be how I'm mixing it.
the technical
Yeah,
stuff? Right,
you gotta
right.
be like, feel me? If you don't know, you don't know. You gotta learn.
so what part of, I mean, when you say my song don't sound like that, what,
Alright.
yeah.
For example, the autotune quality on what I had wasn't the same autotune quality what what my boy was telling me about. For me, there's certain plugins that do the same shit, but certain ones give better quality.
Okay.
So you got to know which ones to use, and then you got to use them in a certain order too. It's different. Like,
I'm glad.
I didn't even know that.
I don't mean. I thought
No,
you
no,
were
go
gonna say
ahead, go
something,
ahead.
But I'm glad you mentioned the auto tune because while I was driving here, I'm listening to your songs, and I'm like, really, I'm a Jay-Z guy. Like, I'm definitely like F auto tune, right?
I would say
but you sound pretty good with auto tune, like where I can go on a journey, you know, from either here to Atlantic City and play a bunch of your songs, and the auto tune won't kill my ears.
Speaking of, don't you got something new out?
Yeah.
So
I just dropped a new EP.
I think we want to hear just for a minute, if you don't mind me putting on for a minute.
Okay.
That's the
Stay True.
Stay True, right?
Stay True.
I drop an EP every month.
Is that the one where you did the video by yourself? Where you're in the
t-
video by yourself with the white background?
Yeah, I just got the full video today. I just got the full bit today.
Yo, David, I'm coming for you, brother. You can stay quiet because I want to know how much of an influence you have behind this young man.
Yeah, how did you guys meet? How did you guys meet?
We just met through some connections. I ain't gonna lie, my son. He be doing his thing.
Yeah, it's always a mysterious connection. It's basically what happens is you rub your hand on a pair of Ferragamo loafers 3 times, and you say my name, and
that's it. And you pop up.
Wow.
Like a genie.
Yeah. David definitely is in the mix. So you definitely tied in with the right man. I've only seen nothing but class from this gentleman.
That's a fact.
And obviously we're gonna throw in the heat. Let's throw in the heat.
Yeah, this shit go crazy right here too, man.
Where can they find us at?
Nigga, Apple Music. It's gonna be on all platforms. About like
I'm on Tidal over here. Tidal. It's on Tidal.
Yesterday. Oh, that's Tidal right there.
It's Tidal right here.
See, so it's probably
Look at that.
now.
Getting them streams going. Get them streams going, guys. DollaSignJ.
I've been there before. Right in front of that corner store. Plug, I can't go. Look at my rap, I really had to trap before. Still trying to make it out of the song. Pockets getting tired, they making money in the mind. I ain't still like a lie. Right now, I tell you with the cash, they making money in the mind. I ain't still like a lie.
So you got a lot of. This is all you.
Word.
Everything. Composing. Beat too?
Nah, not the beat for this one. I'm gonna drop a whole EP straight beats. Watch. Produce my beat.
Teach you money every day. Gotta treat you like a masterpiece. But sometimes demons, I feel the man to me. Also, I'm trying to stop these pills. I know they damage me. I'm just trying to spit this snow with friends. Fuck I live in the rip today. I'm looking for the
Yo. Pause that. Pause that for you. So, obviously that's your new single.
Yes.
What's the name of the single?
That's
That's
been there before. I dropped the EP. Y'all be dropping an EP every month, bro.
It's like
EP
So many
month.
songs, huh?
Yeah, I be forgetting.
I used to rap,
sometimes.
brother. I know exactly what you mean, man. But good
That's
music.
the first song on there, though.
Great track, great production. If I heard it on the radio, it would sound like you was signed or you already got independent movement going down. So keep grinding. 20 and have that type of work ethic to have. Matter of fact, speaking of work ethic, you did mention that you have a pretty good history in music, right? So what's your musical talents as far as like instruments and stuff
Instruments, I could play piano, guitar, drums. Like I'm talking about, I could play that shit. Like,
Do you play that in your beats? Are you the one playing the piano in your beats?
Some of them. Because
okay.
you can change the sound of the piano to whatever you want with the computers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what you
So
basically
how you got
use.
into music though? What was your inspiration? Your family?
Yeah, my grandpa. I ain't gonna lie.
Grandpa.
He
Shout out to
passed
G
away.
Pops.
That's a fact.
Oh, rest in peace. Shout out to G Pops.
But
Young? Oh, I mean like
He
when
was
you were
old.
younger?
He was old. I was
Okay.
young though. I was young.
Okay.
I was like 11.
Okay.
Yeah, but when I was mad little, feel me? He would be into church and shit. So he wanted me to learn how to play an instrument. All the grandkids to learn something with music.
This was Uptown, Washington Heights, or you from?
Nah, I would just go visit him in Florida.
Okay.
But I would go there a lot though. Feel me? So whenever I was over there, he would like force me like type shit to play the drums. Like yo, he would tell me some whack shit. I'm just trying to do it though. Feel me?
Right.
But him getting me playing the drums, I always started liking playing the drums.
Mm-hmm.
And in the drum room is the piano and the guitar. So I was like, and he used to play that shit sometimes too. So I'm like, let me try that shit with what I know.
Right.
From my young, and I'm listening to different music. Let me try playing what I know on there.
Right.
And that's how I got like into making beats and shit.
So have you have you done music for other people, like as far as doing beats for other people instead of just doing it for yourself? Anybody anybody that you would speak of that you've probably done beats for?
Yeah, most of the time it be for people from my studio, but right now for my team that's going crazy, I did one for my son. His name is Latest.
Shout out to Latest.
He did a song named Granny on my beat.
Granny?
That beat go crazy.
Yeah, I love Granny. Grandpa, Granny.
You can just search Granny, it's gonna come up.
That's what's up. You said Latest, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of your team?
My team is True Boys.
True Boys. True Boys.
Okay.
Based out of
Shout out to True
New
Boys.
York.
Well,
East New York.
East New York. All right, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Oh, you Brooklyn?
I'm from Queens, but you feel me? That
Okay.
shit started in Brooklyn though.
Okay.
I ain't gonna
That's
cap.
what's up.
I'm from Queens,
Okay.
man.
I heard you got a call from BD Siegel for sub. Is that true?
Oh yeah, I saw him show him one of my snippets and he was like, that shit fire, keep working.
So he
He was
okay.
fucking with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Snippet of your song? Okay. What song did you play of?
It's called Can't Say Too Much.
Okay, say super.
It's on YouTube. That shit got like 22,000 right now.
Wow. Okay.
That's your top streamed one. That one.
Yeah, you know I'm aiming for bigger. That's
Yeah,
all
of
I'm trying
course,
to
of
do.
course. Then that's where this gentleman comes in. That's where the PR,
Gang.
all the telling you all the right moves to do. So Damon, if we could get in,
Hello, Damon.
Just attack talk
Hey, how you
over to
doing?
you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about what you do. People got their own perception of what they think you do. But if you could put it in a nutshell, who is Damon? What does Damon bring to the table when it comes to this industry?
As a publicist, I handle your brand media marketing and development. Everything dealing with your persona as a brand, in reflective of how an entertainer is considered by society currently. Currently in this realm, an entertainer as it deals with reaching out to the masses, your brand has to be translatable and multi-translatable to a higher demographic than usual.
Okay.
Because of the fact that the demographic for certain realms of music, for example, like hip-hop, their demographic is something to where you have to constantly, as he mentioned before, an EP every month.
Right.
So you have to moderate your brand to feed the masses what they need to be fed. You have to begin to operate like you are a corporation.
Okay.
So with that, in every corporation, there's always been what's considered a fixer. There's always been someone that comes in and just figures out and analyzes what's going wrong, what needs to be rewired, and go forward from there. So with me, I'm really.
I had a different idea. Sorry to cut you. I had a different idea of what a fixer was.
Oh, go ahead. What was yours?
Like some Ray Donovan shit. Like, oh, you done fucked up. Let me
Well,
come in.
I'm sure he ain't give people beat up. You give people beat up,
Like for
beat people
instance-
up and shit,
No,
killing people
no.
and shit.
Like
Nah.
for instance, before we started, I was the Sean Watson situation that's come up with all these allegations. He got like 13 lawsuits, these women and massages and shit. Like, is like if that was one of your clients,
Misogyny, or he was giving massages?
he was trying to get the special massages.
In what context though?
They go to
Sexual-
PR. They go to PR coming in. They go to PR coming in.
He's got me not believing it already. Like, wait a minute, did I read the article right?
Hey, listen.
But he was like, he's on Instagram. Like, most people got, like, celebrities of that stature with that amount of money, they've got somebody. They got a
No, they
masseuse.
don't. They don't. They actually don't. And that's the unfortunate thing.
What do you
And
mean by
this
they
is-
got somebody? You mean like somebody like David?
Well, I was watching Shannon Sharp, and he was saying I've had a masseuse for 20 years. The same person. He said a lot of his celebrity friends, they got somebody they go to that they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
They're both comfortable with each other. Deshaun Watson is apparently just hitting random masseuses up on Instagram like, yo, I'll fly you in, I'll come see you, come see me here.
And that's where he runs into problems.
Yeah.
And that's why I was kind of alluding. Most teams don't have a me. They don't. And I've always, no matter whether it come with just a friend crowd, I've always been that person that just kind of just reads. I stay quiet more so than anything. And I just observe what's going on, and I'll see what fits and what does not fit. Oftentimes, I remember growing up in Detroit, and I'm me. The way I speak, my parents didn't make me speak this way, nothing. I wanted something out of the definition of Damon Campbell.
Okay.
So I developed myself into me. However, I remember times, most of my friends are opposite of me. They're in the streets. So I remember this time in particular where we were on our way to a BET Awards, and I was in the Bronx, and a cop van came through, and I guess this is back in 2009, and maybe it's around the time Stop and Frisk was ending or something, but they definitely pulled out on the Bronx and came out to my friend who was dressed kind of more on the street hip hop side, and I was dressed ready to go to the BET Awards thing.
Right.
Outside like a suit type thing.
Mm-hmm.
The way I carried myself was able to just deflect it almost like I had a superpower. Instances like that let me know that I'm on the right track, even when it comes to me imparting those life experiences onto clients I work with, and to setting and making the pathway easier. Like, I love giving cheat codes to, friends and people I love, people I care about. I love giving cheat codes, like mental cheat codes. This game is winnable.
If I could ask you, what happens when they don't take your advice?
I really, to be very fair and honest, like I have not run across somebody. I've learned to be more patient, and I think with that it's easier to deliver a message when you're trying to be patient and you're trying to be understanding of what the level of that recipient is, what level they're on. Like, I can think my message is all cool, fine, and dance, whatever, but it's like, am I translating it to you?
Right. And different people need different
And
translations.
that's why, as a PR, you need to understand demographics and marketing. You need to know who you're marketing to. So oftentimes, I've run across people that wear this PR title, and they do it just because it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, thank goodness. Not like how everybody wants to be a rapper nowadays.
Right.
But it's like you run across people that wear this PR title, but PR really takes you to understand society and have a desire to understand and have a nerdish desire. Like, I have a nerdish desire to understand how society operates and how people think and what makes you like something, what makes you think something is cool, and why do you not retain that cool factor with this person for longer than a month? And why is it that Jay-Z is able to retain his coolness into his 40s, but it won't happen again? I think about these scenarios.
Why is that, you think?
What do you mean it won't happen again?
The Jay-Z factor is because of society. They can't tangibly hang on to an artist that they accept as cool as fuck right now and stick with him, and you're my buddy until they're in the wee ages. They're not,
I think Jay-Z has a really
Attention spans.
I think he has a really he is really in his own lane, because I don't think he's a buddy kind of guy, right? So for him to I think there's a chance that there's an opportunity for someone to be actually better than him. And Jay-Z is my favorite artist. And what I mean by that is when you look at people like Drake, right?
Wait, Jay-Z's your favorite artist now?
He's always been. Who was my favorite artist?
We'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
Who was my favorite artist?
I've never heard that before.
Bro, anyway, and then you don't know me, and you my best friend, so I don't know what the fuck you talk about. But anyway, Jay-Z, right? Now, as far as Drake, he's a more personable artist. He follows the trends, or he sets some of the trends, which Jay-Z does as well too. But I think as far as the spectrum of people, not just the older people, but the spectrum of people from young to old, I think Drake connects with them better, right? And Drake has the ability to monetize from that on a bigger level than Jay. But the difference is he trying to be on a business level like Jay, right? Like where he's attacking different, lanes of business way out of music spectrum, going into basketball, obviously basketball is connected to music, but, Jay-Z's doing weed now, and Jay-Z's, did clubs and did this and did that. But I feel like the Jay-Z, I think the type of way Jay-Z came up is the Jay-Z factor you're talking about, right? Coming from the slums.
Well, what is it? What is the Jay-Z factor from your perspective?
I think it deals more when the time he came. It was just he came at the right time, and I really do put it on society. It was a different time, and we accepted lyricism. We accepted we had the patience to put up with hearing you really rap. And it was at that really cusp. I remember, Young Guru is a buddy of mine. You know what I mean? I met him at when he was going to Howard
He was
University.
responsible for most of Jay-Z's work.
Yeah, I didn't even know what an engineer was.
You didn't know who he was.
Didn't know what an engineer was until Young Guru.
Yeah.
He used to cop weed off of one of my homeboys that used to play for the school at the time. And
Howard, you said.
yeah.
Okay.
And so we met because I used to play Parasite Eve, the video game. Crazy enough, he was into video games like I was into role-playing games. So we became friends off of marijuana and video games. And he told me he was an engineer at a company called Crazy Cat Catalog. I had no idea what an engineer was. I thought it meant that he fixed machinery in the studio. So for real, I was a blonde. I didn't know. That's what really went through my brain. Oh, you're an engineer. Good for you.
Yeah.
And it took me a while
Fucking
to
screwdrivers
really
and shit, and wrenches.
you're an engineer. Fix machines in there.
Not quite.
By the way, real quick, you said something, just to remind you, something that reminded me of how we met.
What? Tell me.
Steve
Culver?
Steve Culver. Shout out to my man Steve Culver. I remember Steve saying, yo, this is my man Damon. Damon, this is GC.
Steve
I
is
just remember
responsible
that,
for many
man.
great things as
He
well.
introduced me to you many years ago.
Many connections.
Yeah. All right. So just behind the scenes, I had to figure out. I always try to figure out how I remember meeting my friend for the first time, and he said something that reminded me. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, Steve is great.
Shout out
man.
to Steve once again. Yeah, that's my guy. But anyway.
So, I know you got a lot of.
Oh, hold on. Before you move forward, because we talking on the OG level, and he was shaking his head up and down.
I was
So
agreeing with what he was
from a
saying,
young
I ain't gonna
man's
lie.
level.
Well, wait, you got
what's
something
your
to say about
perspective-
Jay-Z?
No, what's your perspective on the Jay-Z effect, or what's your perspective on Jay as his career from a time where you probably wasn't even
I
born?
exactly agree with what he was saying. That's why I was shaking my head, because back then they gave lyrics more of a hit. You feel me? Like now it's just they trying to listen to the flow, what sounds catchy. You feel me? They're not really listening to the words that people actually sing.
So they
Right.
can make a TikTok video. That's all they want to do nowadays. Make a TikTok
You feel
video.
me? Something trendy. They don't really try to make generational music again, like Jay-Z. Feel me? You can still bump, like for example,
So-
Meek Mill too. Meek Mill be having music from 10 years ago. You can bump now.
So, I mean, I don't want to go too far into the topic, but when you look at artists like Kendrick Lamar, right, that are, to me, I feel are pure lyricists. They're not about, catching the catchiest melody. He might have a melody within his rap because he just happens to have a melody, but that's not what he's going
not
for.
his main focus.
Yeah, so
he's a
I think
lyricist.
those are artists that are they're not gonna take, as far as hip hop, I think they're going to be able to last, like the J. Cole's, still have their own followings. But yes, the Jay-Z effect on a business level, I don't think that is probably going to be matched.
Because if you look at it now, most of the artists blowing up right now, they either doing melodic or they doing drill. Like, they not on some real rap. You know what I'm saying? Over from what I see in New York.
And how long do they
Right now.
last though? They be hot for a minute. and
Yeah,
then
think
they
about
be-
it. In the industry, how long you see drill music for? Not that long. Only 5
I think
years.
drill
see 5 years
music.
doing
I
this thing
think
in
drill
pop.
music
Besides them two.
is the newest and the most authentic, even though it came from across the ocean. But
What did?
drill music. Drill music came from like England and like.
I thought you said music as a whole.
No, drill.
I was
Like
like-
that type of music, that genre of music. So they.
I didn't know
like,
that. I thought that shit came from like Chicago or some shit.
Well,
I ain't gonna lie, Chief Keef
Technically-
made it trendy. Like,
he made it
he
trendy.
made it popular.
But
Okay.
that was how they were rapping out there, a long way before he was. As far as that,
Interesting.
that's from what I remember. Right, I could be wrong. Don't kill me in the
No,
comments. if you
you're
want.
exactly right.
yeah.
Okay, so
You're on record now. Nah.
so what happened was, what made it really, really popular as far as on the East Coast is, rest in peace, Pop Smoke. His production, 80% of his production was from a producer that's from, I don't want to say England, but he's from out there. He's from the British,
Across the-
that.
across the ocean.
Across the ocean.
Across the pond.
Across the
Across the
pond,
pond.
yeah. And obviously drill music is popping now, and I think that drill music has a new bounce to it that I don't think is gonna fade out. You know, it's not that. I think it's gonna.
Yeah,
I think
it's
as
definitely
long
not gonna
as
fade out.
I think as long and in New York, I know Chicago did a good job with it, and putting it on the map in America. Right?
Chief Keef, right?
Chief
So,
Keef,
yeah.
right? But New York is making it look good.
Yeah, that's
New
a fact.
York is making it look fly,
That's what I'm
making it
saying.
look,
But you
It's
do
all-
trap soul though. That's what you consider
Yeah, like I
trap
focus on
soul.
the lyrics and the melody.
Yeah, but I could see you being on a drill song.
I have drill songs.
Yeah, I could see you being on one.
But I put my melody flow on it though.
Right.
But it's still because I like being me
Yeah, of course.
on different people's beats though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So that way you could get their vibe, but it's still my music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did this happen?
Yeah.
How did this connection?
Well, one thing with me,
So the sparkle in his eye.
I guess you can say those kind of things too. Like, I really do like rare, unique artists. I like rare, unique people around me. And I was just joking as a reference to them earlier. Somebody had mentioned like we were talking about supervillains a while ago, and somebody was like, "Yo, you remind me of like Xavier and like Magneto into one person." And I was like, "Yo, throw in a little bit of Lex Luthor," because
Yeah. I mean,
I'm always thinking,
You wanna say you good?
and
Yep, I'm good.
I have a real fascination with like society. I really love studying how I'm human. I love studying how people like me move. Not just me being a black person, me being an earthling. How do we as earthlings operate? Why do we buy certain things we buy? What attracts us? What colors attracts us? What sounds attracts us? Did you know XXXTentacion used to study about megahertz?
Really?
Yeah, 42 hertz. And shit.
And with me, and this is something that I think
With
any
you said?
broadcaster, XXXTentacion put me onto it.
Oh,
Not
okay.
personally,
Oh, okay,
but just
okay.
because someone mentioned how smart he was, and I wanted to say,
Yeah.
let me see how smart he was.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's impressive. And from now on, he's imparted that on to my tonation, because I do realize that I have a certain type of way of speaking, and so with his putting me on to the knowledge of using megahertz to better convey my voice, to make it more.
If I ever write a book, brother, when the audio joint come out, I'm gonna Damon.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that, yo, bro. You ever thought? I swear to God, I was gonna say he
talking,
should
I'm
do
like,
an audio. You should
I'm
do
listening.
audio book, bro. You
to
should
me,
do
I
audio
appreciate
book,
it.
bro.
Yeah.
If you're well at reading,
Yeah.
some people are not
Yeah,
like well
I
at
know.
reading, but
Yeah.
if you're well at reading, your
Yeah.
audio book,
Well,
bro, you would.
well at reading.
Yeah, it's just,
No,
it was choppy,
like-
but
Is that the?
What I'm
I'll
saying
just
is,
I know what you're saying.
you know, not having to have, because not only when they book you because you got a good voice, they want you to be
Right.
able to have some continuity in
like
your
Marvel
reading.
Comics Group, Jungle Action, the Black Panther.
Yeah, shout out to the Black Panther.
Yeah, I can't see that, but maybe next
Shout
time.
out,
Grow
to,
big
shout
dreams.
Out to, shout out to Darth Vader.
Yeah,
Jack Moves
yeah.
podcast.
Jack News Pod.
No, so ever since y'all got together, right? What has been the best impact that he's brought to the table for you, as far as what you didn't have before he got here? Even though I know there's a lot more to go,
Yeah.
but so far so good
So far,
in that perspective.
so far, I already see he getting me with like more articles out. He getting me in tune with certain people I probably would have not get in tune with. You feel me?
Got you your first interview.
He just said.
My first
Excuse me, you
interview-
just said it's your
Look,
first
my
interview,
first
right?
Shout
interview
out,
right
shout
here.
out.
Yeah. I just wanted you to put that on record. That's all. I just wanted to make sure you put that on
He
record.
always working. I know that. I
Yeah,
know he always working.
always, man,
Yeah.
always work. I don't.
That's what I like, cause I be always working. He just like me
Yeah.
That's what's up. So how long has this connection been going?
for like a couple months now.
Couple
Right?
months.
A
Oh.
month,
Like,
a month or two.
yeah, about 2.5.
Oh wow, it's early. Oh he
Yeah.
see. So just so you know, we were originally trying to interview this mysterious man, right? And the first thing he came out and said was, "I need my artist up there." So you know what I'm saying? He put you. You know what I'm saying? He put you first. and
With that voice, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm bringing my
I'm
artist.
bringing my artist. I know I speak a certain type of way, but when I
was like,
speak this
okay.
way, I'm bringing my artist.
It's like, okay, Damon.
Okay,
Bring
David.
whoever you want.
Whatever you say. So, what's the plan? What's the plan for this young man? What do you
Yeah.
got going for him?
one thing is that I really, once again, going back to society, he happens to have a certain character, a certain everything that fits the bill of what the masses love and already accept for their version of an entertainer.
Right.
That being said,
Star power.
That being said, he also has the follow through. You know, he also has the wit. He has the mechanics. He knows how to do it himself. So if he has a me, that's only going to just accentuate everything. You know what I mean? Like, so
He's making it easy for you.
Yo.
it.
I know this man. I've known you how
his-
long? I should
bro,
have been picked you
I
up.
don't even want to get on that level, but look, I even lowered the rate for that reason.
Oh.
I was like, you know,
Yeah, because you see the bigger picture, man. I think that happened with not to jump subjects, but I think that because you're not technically his manager, right? You're
no,
still
PR.
PR. So I don't want to like say it in a comparison to a manager, but I think if I'm not mistaken, I could be off guard. I could be thrown way off, but Justin Bieber's manager, the dude that I think Drake talks about him a lot.
Gosh, at this second, I know you're talking
The
about
white boy, I think he had something to do with Taylor Swift's management and all that too.
Yeah.
He owned the Masters or something like that. But yeah, yeah. So anyway, he was the same guy. Well, yeah, I'm sorry. I know. I mean, I know they always tell me I go way off sometimes. So
I don't. I'm just trying to figure how do we get to Justin Bieber and Taylor. Anyway,
Yo, my mind be all over the place, especially when I'm blowing it
what's
down.
What's the game plan? What's the goal? You guys got a goal that y'all came up to get together
One
with?
thing is, I do. Okay, so without saying the name, there's an artist, right? And he doesn't even. It's not even part of his schematic. I just see him better than just particular people that have been lifted to the limelight just because the old guard let that person in. And that's pretty much it. I just think that he's smarter. I think that he's a better brand. I think it's effortless. I think real artistry should shine again.
Right. Yeah, I see it.
Wait, hold on. I like that. Real artistry should shine again.
Yeah, let's make sure. Yeah, hashtag that. Shine on artistry. Artistry. Oh my God, I gotta stop, man.
What's your Instagram, social medias, and all of that?
Everything
Tell
is
everybody.
at the actual SJ.
Don't worry, we're not ending it. We just want to let
Yeah.
everybody know.
It's at the actual SJ. Anywhere you want to find me.
Actual SJ.
Yeah, that's how I got my name right there. So
You said
There's an S for
Actual.
actual ACTUALS J.
Yeah,
Actuals J for everybody want to find my man.
the actual SJ.
The actual SJ.
Because there's no dollar sign, you feel me? So I
Yeah,
gotta put
so
an
you got to
X.
put the S.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. I hear you. First of all, let's do a quick shot if y'all don't mind.
For our once again to our sponsor, Yave Tequila.
Yeah, we do a little, 45. What was that? 45 we at? How many minutes we been rocking? It feel like it's 15.
I know, right?
Don't worry about the time.
Oh, shit. My
Just
business, right?
keep it
All right,
going.
so
We good.
This time we gonna go with the original
That's
grandmama.
the
So we gonna keep
the
it on
Blanco.
the granny level. We're gonna keep it on the granny level, so we're gonna go with the grandmama. This is yours, right?
Yes, mine.
All right, this is good.
Oh, you can.
You can keep going.
You don't have to stop.
All right, that's
so.
good.
I like that shit. Oh shit, I done dumped in my damn cup.
You can put a shot in there. Yeah, I'll give it to him.
Hey Gloria, if you're watching, which you're not watching right now, but when you are watching, don't get mad at my side.
Shout out to our camera girl, our camera lady, the infamous Glow Rider,
Glow
who couldn't
Rider.
be with us tonight for
She's more than
her
a camera
own
lady
reasons.
to me though. She's like everything MVP. Fuck is you talking about camera lady? What the fuck kind of dumbass?
What's the better lady? What's the better label?
She's
I'm talking about what I'm not talking about who she is
she
to us
is
personally.
the boss
I'm
behind
talking
the
about what she
scenes,
does.
bro. She runs the show. No, she don't run the show, but
Anyway,
she definitely.
where we at with
She
these
definitely ain't the
shots?
camera lady. Yo, let me get a. Wait.
Here you go.
Oh, all right. All right, so we're gonna salute to obviously Yave, but we're gonna also salute to your career and your new
Wait,
partnership.
that weak ass drink. That weak
John
ass
shouldn't
drink.
be. I can't let
Yeah.
the host be too lit.
You can
Bro.
pull me. It's just a shot.
All right.
No. I meant I don't agree with Damon.
Okay. I was hoping
I was
that
agreeing with you.
All right, hold on. Let me get mine
easy.
too. All right, so
You ready?
salute to Yave, Unlock Possibilities.
Yave,
Salute to
Damon.
DollaSignJ.
Yes.
DollaSignJ.
That shit smooth.
So
I can take
Damon.
that anytime. Pause.
Ooh.
Pause.
Hey yo.
See, I catch myself every time, man. Pause.
I know you got some juicy PR stories for us, bro.
Yeah. So what's your
wanna-
experience? What's one of your worst?
I want to hear some
Clients?
something.
Yeah. What like? I mean, you ain't
You
got.
ain't gotta say no names.
but an experience.
I think that the time that I worked with Skinny from the Nine happened
I
to
appreciate
have
you
been,
name dropping.
happened to have been challenging. And
Challenging for lack of
because I had to deal with more resources than just my regular intellect and leverage. See, usually you can just play that leverage game. Industry. See, in his situation, I had to play street leverage, and I had to really dig. It's so crazy.
Okay.
It makes you really reinvest back into your street ties because now you got to make sure he's good in places. Like now you got to be like, okay, like
Gotta reinvest.
yeah, like so now you got to kind
a
of
couple calls.
right. And I never had to make. I never had to do that. You know what I mean? I had to
Like,
make
you remember you
calls
said
before to certain club
to call
owners,
you if I
but
needed
not
you?
those kind of calls.
Yeah.
You know, and I was making, and I realized like, okay, I'm well suited in that degree also. Right. So I really got more confident. That became a strength. So that's why I'm saying, okay, no fault of his own. You know, whatever. You know, his situation, his circumstance. It's just that as a publicist, I now was getting calls from people who, you know, like rode on whatever side of the fence of whatever situation. Same thing with any type of affiliation with CJ. You know, like,
CJ.
you know,
Oh, you
like
had
CJ
affiliation with him.
Whoopty. So,
I see you posted. You work with CJ?
yeah, that's the homie. I allot my PR services with him. You know, James Cruz is his manager.
Shout out to James
And,
Cruz.
you know, I've known CJ since shortly right when he decided to start to rap. And that's pretty recent, you know, like he's really made well use of his brand and his persona. And I'd say kudos to that. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, has been also, you know, a little bit odd too, because I have friends that will put up a music video against him. And I'm someone who's big on loyalty. So you won't ever catch me liking somebody that's shitting on CJ. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's a lot. I've seen
CJ has been a great friend, and I don't see this other version that people want to try to paint of him.
What's the version they trying to paint of him?
Just not being just like a great ass stand up cool ass dude that doesn't try to mean
the
harm
long
to
story
anybody.
short, because my boy John isn't as tapped into the industry as I am. Right.
Or I could just be asking good interview questions.
No, you are. You're asking a great question, but I'm sure he wouldn't want to explain why. That's his man, but I'll explain why. I don't know him.
No, I'll go into a situation about Staten Island, about chasing somebody or whatever.
I'm all
No,
ears.
that's not it. That's not what I think is the real big
Oh,
deal in
no,
the
they
situation.
also-
Well,
No.
how about you go first?
I also
and then
know
if
the
that's
fact
not it,
about-
then you go.
I
About
also
what?
know the fact about even the ABG Neal situation. When you're light skinned in your blood, it's a certain stigma.
All right, so I wasn't even going there. So you telling me stuff that I don't know, but
No, but I'm saying what it really is.
but
Like,
I want to
people
get to
don't
the
talk
ABG Neal shit.
Okay.
And it might tie into this, but his launch, and I'm totally unbiased to this. I'm not biased to anything that's going on with him, right? But from what I have understood out here, is that his launch has been based off of whoopty, right? Which is apparently considered a blood term or a type of set, right? That's going on in the gang life, right? And apparently,
Yes.
am I wrong? I mean, am I right or wrong about
Okay,
the
so-
story about it? So how about that?
when it deals with
Because
that stuff,
that's what I'm
that's
hearing about more than anything.
Right. about it being offensive to certain people, and I've received a phone call through somebody who I'm very close with that took offense to it, and they described the same thing, that people, went to jail and,
Yes.
Went died for, and yada, yada, yada. However, there's a special knowledge that I have that affords me to know that, bro, whoopty is a phrase that I've heard many a blood use that are not from the same set, and it's never been taken offense. Whoopty, I personally know, without me ever saying it before CJ made it popular to say it, was something that other bloods would say, such as top of the morning. And recently I've seen people who aren't blood say top of the morning. So there are certain phrases.
I don't know anything about what's top of the morning. What is that? I mean, I know what that really means.
Yeah, so certain phrases that just become certain,
like
especially blood.
Gang.
Especially, I'm not as tapped in as you say yet. I'm just keep talking. I'm learning some things right now.
Yeah, so it's like certain, especially blood, because blood is like a hood cool thing to be. So anyway,
I don't know what city it is cool to be.
Yeah,
blood, but
anyway, yeah.
But,
so, yeah, that's just
but
it. Sometimes.
Let
me. You know what?
You were talking about CJ. We weren't.
And let me just even address that. Oftentimes, certain clicks, no matter even what the click is, can be glamorized. And certain things that click does, certain words, certain lingo, just like marketing, they market themselves. Whoopty was marketed.
Yeah.
It was marketed by bloods. It was looked upon as a cool thing. I'm sure the people that originated it looked at it as a cool initiation between us cool kids, and we're selected, and it passed on. It transitioned, and it's brought a light to it. I don't think that the grievance given to CJ for utilizing that terminology is well placed.
Yeah, I think it's stupid.
It's probably because it became.
It's definitely stupid that somebody's running around claiming any word and saying that, and they probably have no paperwork. They don't got a lawyer for nothing.
Well, nobody cares until it becomes popular.
Not until it becomes popular, until you making money. It's one thing when anything can be popular.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. He's both.
Yeah,
he's got the shits on the radio every 2 minutes.
Regardless, the song is popping. It's a great track.
I might not need to roll through certain neighborhoods playing that shit. Now that y'all think like
it's a great popping track. It's a great pop track. And no one else minds. It's yes. They just did a remix with and Rowdy.
Yeah.
And Rowdy. Shout out to Rowdy. Welcome back, Rowdy. Welcome back, Bobby Smurda.
But he gonna make a
when
new
the
track.
fuck he gonna make a damn song, man? They need to get him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you need to call out. You need to tap in with him. DM that nigga. Like,
holla at my man Damon.
Holla at my man Damon and DollaSignJ. You know what I'm saying? We got it for you.
We got beats and we are fixing these shit.
Send that nigga the emoji like this.
Nah, so on that note, we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come right back. Jack Moves Pod. We back from the break. Jack Moves Pod. We back from a break. We still here with Damon Campbell and
DollaSignJ.
DollaSignJ. So where was he at, fellas?
Now, moving forward, how about this? Because I didn't even want to stick on the topic. You know what I mean? That's a topic I'm not even that comfortable with. Yeah. Everybody want?
Yeah. Pour up first. Pour it up.
Yeah. Tell me when to stop. Pause.
Because you're starting to sound like you about to get.
Why is that a pause?
Deep.
What do you mean? That's yo, I'm from Harlem, bro.
Tell me when to stop.
Yeah.
That became a pause.
Anytime.
Tell me when to.
When you talking
anything
to a man,
is a pause to him.
When you talking to a man with no women in the room.
That's scary. You know what's scary about
For
it?
me?
It's
I mean, if I'm in a business room, if I'm
I'm not one to misuse that overly used phrase, toxic masculinity. I'm not one. I hate
he's a
people
little,
that
he's
use
a little
those.
insecure, I think.
I'm not one to use
it's
those.
It's just like in Harlem, like the way Queens
Why you keep
be
blaming
like
on
saying
Harlem?
Son, because that's where it
Has
originated.
nothing
You're
to do
so
with
bigger
Pause.
than you're.
He has nothing to do
Your
with
brain.
him.
That's like me saying your brain is bigger than
I
Harlem.
know, but I mean, bro,
That should have
Sorry,
been
like
balls.
sorry,
Your brain
sorry
bigger
for
than-
everything
Not
I'm
like
saying.
in-
Blame it on
Yo,
Harlem.
bro, it's not like I'm sitting in fucking conference room saying pause. I'm amongst my niggas, but I'm also tell me when to stop.
People
and
who
pause
know
and
you,
think,
right? Who you shouldn't have to even say pause in front of.
All right,
I feel like you could pour a drink.
all right, that's true. Fuck it.
And
For
be
tonight,
like-
I won't say pause, but in my mind, I'm gonna say pause. So anytime I say something that's pause, just know
Watch
I
us
said
say some
pause in my
extra
mind.
shit.
I think maybe you need to talk to somebody about this. It's like,
Maybe.
tell me when to stop.
It better be somebody
And
from
did
Harlem.
you
It
feel
gotta
a way?
be. It gotta be a psychiatrist from
Oh,
Harlem
no,
or something.
did you feel a kind of way when you said, "Tell me when to stop"? That did you feel something like, "Oh my God, pause"?
Nah, I just thought that was the wrong thing to say amongst men.
So what would have been a better thing to say? Just overflow his fucking whole
No,
glass.
I just drink, and he say, "Nah, I'll take
anyway,
more of that drink."
Now, if you would
I
have,
can't even say nothing no more, man.
now wait, what?
Pause this whole fucking show. That's it, and then I'm gonna keep going. That's it.
Take some more of this. You want some more of this in that glass? Anyway, sorry. Apologies. So where were we?
All right, so like I said, I didn't want to move forward with that. I want to get back to this young man here. Being a young man in the rap game, trying to make a name for yourself, and make a career for yourself. One of the things that we think about is that this is probably the most dangerous fucking career to be in, right? So it's like what I do appreciate from you and what I've seen in the videos that I've seen is that you don't carry yourself in that manner. Like you don't got the semi-automatics behind you.
Yeah,
You had them hundreds though.
But you had the bread,
You had
yeah.
them- you had them hundreds.
That's what
Yeah,
you're supposed
that's
to do.
just
Let
show
them
you
know.
what I'm
Let them
trying
know
to
the
say
money's
right
there.
there.
You know what I'm saying? But
So we focus.
but at the same time, you didn't have that cliche. So how do you feel? So my question to you is, how do you feel about going in the rap game and watching some of your peers, especially your generation, experiencing, death left and right from beefs that are more than likely caused online?
Yeah.
Have you thought about those things
Yeah.
for your career? And what's going on with that?
It's like people like that. I don't know. When you're really in here for so long, you want to get out. When you want to get out,
Right.
you think you got to move a certain way. You feel me?
Right.
If you want to get out, you can't be doing something that's gonna make you stay here longer.
Right.
You feel me? So according to says, I'm beefing with an artist or something, right? He online talking, I'm not even gonna respond to him, bro. Why I'm gonna respond to him? I'm about to go do something greater than that. You feel me?
So a lot of times it comes from.
But if it come down, if it come down to it, feel me?
No, it's
Whatever
a
happened,
great
you feel me?
perspective.
But
And I mean,
we're not gonna initiate.
Yeah.
Feel me? Because we know it's already gonna go down. We don't want that. We don't want to be. Feel me? People
Right.
go to jail. You feel me? We wanna get out of here.
But a lot of times it be the team that you're around.
Yeah,
right?
that's a fact,
And that's
too.
why you got people like Damon, right? Because Damon is a team within himself, right? And he watches.
Yeah.
And he can say like, "Yo, Jay,
Stop doing what you're doing.
yeah," or not even stop what you're doing, but the people that are around you.
sir.
Yo, chill, bro. Yo, this is wild. Pause. No, but I think it's a real serious subject in the game that your generation. So I have a 21-year-old son and I have a 19-year-old son.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, I have 4 boys, but more specifically these 2. They're your age, obviously, or within your age. And my 19-year-old son would be the one that that anyone that knows my children would expect him to probably go in this type of lane. And I don't encourage it. I never ask him if he knows how to rap. I don't, because
my parents wasn't. Like,
I can tell. I don't want my son to grow up to be a pop smoke.
I feel like
you.
we gotta find a way to
There's a
take
piece of that, man.
like that real kind of
Yeah,
violence, that kind of violence
Yeah.
out of the hip hop and the rap game. But then if you do, it might take a little bit of the soul out of it. Unfortunately.
No, that's not. I don't think that's true, because it's something about. It's something
It's not
about
the same it was when it started in the 80s.
But what is it
turntables
about?
and
Here's what
lyrics.
it is, though, Ice. What is it about movies that can glorify so much violence? And yes, of course, people individually can be insane and do dumb shit like massacres and all that. But for the most part, movies are enjoyable. It's entertainment, and nobody is really, jacking no.
Because it's
movie,
different,
right?
It's different.
But-
if I could jump in real quick.
Okay.
Because in movies, video games and shit like that, right? They blame that on like all of these kind of like there was just a shooting in like in Atlanta. There was some shit that happened in.
It just happened in the grocery store.
Yeah, like they be like, oh, the video, this and that. But the rap game is never blamed for that. Rappers are eating themselves. Other people are not listening to rap, and then they said, "Oh, people listen to rap, and he's doing this and that." Rappers are eating themselves alive, right?
What
I don't mean you. I just mean like all this.
Yeah.
The statistically, it's like
what I think
I
it
would
stems
rather
from,
join.
and
I would
this
might
could be,
rather go to Iraq.
This is a question that I'm probably gonna like gear towards Damon, right? That I've been thinking about, right? Is that it used to be where, on the radio at least, right, where you couldn't even say certain words on the radio, right? But nowadays, you can hear a lot more violent music on the radio, almost to the as far as rappers.
Unfiltered almost.
Unfiltered, right? Almost to the point where if you don't have any violent music and it's rap, we're probably not playing it unless you're one of the biggest artists in the world,
Or
like
sexual.
a Fat Joe. Or sexual, right? So my question to you is it a situation where that you see with your clients that as a personality within himself, right? Someone you know personally, he is not a violent person, but his raps might say, me and my gang will pull up on you and drop a load of bullets on you, this and that. Do you feel like these artists that you're dealing with are being forced to be somebody that they're not? And I'm not saying that's you, but just in the people that you've worked with.
Nah, like I'm picturing one now that says something that's sort of like that. And actually, the bars that you just said was sort of like his bars, recent song, and he's I don't think anything about his saying that. I don't think it's detrimental, and I've really thought about like who I represent. What do I throw my name against?
Right.
What does it encourage? I grew up around a time when they talked about rock music was influencing school shootings.
Columbine.
Right.
I took time to actually. I'm nerdy, but I'm like a morbid nerd. Like, so my birthday's September 11th, so I've listened to audio tapes.
What's my birthday? When's my
What?
birthday?
Y'all birthdays on the same day? Y'all didn't know
On the
that?
12th.
Shit.
He's dead.
Ain't your fucking birthday, you fuck. What kind of math is you going on?
I'm not going on.
That's my birthday.
I didn't. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. I was saying that we're both Virgos. I didn't say I was born on the same day.
all right. Maybe I jumped the gun. All right.
So
A little bit.
All right.
So it's like I have like around my birthday and stuff. I have like a morbid curiosity, like things that happened that day. That was like shortly after I first moved here.
So 2001. So when we got
I
here,
moved
like
here-
2099?
I moved here in '99.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's where I've totally segued just now, but that's when I first met Edgar and Donnie over at Halo nightclub.
Rest in peace, Donnie.
Yes. Rest in peace to Donnie.
And they
Gleam.
were, and as fate and irony for this story would tell, that was my first two real connections here in New York. Was,
from Detroit. Coming from Detroit?
after I graduated from Hampton University.
Okay.
I went to school with Envy, actually. Envy and I went to school together, along with Delonte Murphy, who discovered Trey Songz in Virginia also, who put Chris Brown on, because everybody's from Virginia.
Apparently.
And during that same time, trace it all back. Envy, I remember, was always racing out. He didn't have time to pledge Kappa Alpha Psi because he was busy with a backpack on, always DJing everywhere. He was everything was held to a moratorium because there was a situation that happened at another university back then. It was an Oprah Winfrey show. It was a death that happened, and so it was a nationwide moratorium, and so that derailed ideas that I had for anything. So Envy, as long as I remember, has always been a worker, like in the best connotative way that I could imagine. Envy has been someone that worked for everything he has right now. And he never had time to even sit down, really. You know, like, he was always that guy. Get in, get your food, get back out. He's getting booked and busy. He's been booked and busy before booked and busy was a thing. And the coincidence is Delonte Murphy actually being amongst the whole crew, who now is head A&R, I think, over at Empire. And he's the one that discovered Trey Songz while we were all at Hampton.
Wow.
Yo, Trey Songz was a beast when he came out.
Yeah.
His what you think about that PR work with his last I don't know if you know about this, but
he's
when he's spitting in the girl's mouth during the COVID time.
Now, to be honest, I really don't believe that.
It was in a club. It was in a public place,
and
right?
I personally know a lot of the people behind his whole thing. I don't think they use PR. I think they're just going off cuff. I think a lot, like I told you earlier, there are not a lot of people that are like me in every crew. You would think. And like LeBron has Maverick, and that's what's important. Not every person in Bieber has, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either.
He has Old Boy.
Yeah.
Certain well-to-do crews have that it guy.
Yeah.
That essential guy.
Not every crew,
people don't even know that it's essential
person
though.
has that, but
I feel like LeBron made
wealthy
Maverick
people and
that
the
way.
top of the top people, huh?
They grew up together.
No, that's what I'm saying. I feel like
that's that.
LeBron just said, like,
However,
yo,
you
become
are-
PR. Yeah, you be the best at you fucking go and study PR for the rest of your damn hours that you're free.
That's
you go do.
documented. That's
He probably ain't know
documented
shit about PR when that nigga LeBron got in the game. He probably had a good gift of gab.
That's a documented thing that he was like, yo, you study this.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. What? I get a team of my favorite niggas that I fuck with, I love to death, and I would be like, yo, listen, you want to roll?
I
I'm
need
gonna
an
pay
agent.
for all that. You do this.
Look at your boys like, here, go to school and learn how to be an agent, and then you'll be my agent.
Let me ask you a question. Would you listen, just to see, even though that's your man, right? You want to put your man on, right? Would you just to see his hustle and see if he's really built for this and he really wants to make it happen? Would you make him go get the like certification of, like, let's just say a business certification? Would you make him go do it on his own, financially on his own, even though you're getting bread, or would you do it? Would you pay for it and see how he does?
Unfortunately, it would depend. Unfortunately, I had to say that answer. To be very honest, I would say it depends, because there are some people that I feel do need the alley-oop.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And there are some people that I would definitely love to test, but there are some people I know that if I put them to the test, they'll take it a certain way, because everyone's not emotionally sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I have to treat people according to how they're emotionally set.
You're a PR rep that's very psychological.
Very.
So it's not like there's no like 1 + 1 = 2. It's like, no, it may equal anything depending on who's doing that, adding and subtracting,
And who's giving it?
Yeah.
What's
So
the
this guy got you didn't charge him a premium because it's like no headaches.
Yeah, but what's the whole premise of the public relations, in the sense that it sounds like when we first started, like, you're the fixer, but what's the public relations as far as like starting from a straight up white clean piece of paper? What's that? How does that?
Can I do a B to your question?
Yeah.
I want you to answer that, and I want to also know I want to know some things you fixed before. That's what I want to know. But
okay,
yeah,
that makes a lot of sense too.
Did you finish your question?
No, that makes a lot of sense
Okay.
to my question.
Okay.
Like, what's the plain white sheet of paper that you start with, right? to say this is how we're gonna have you look to the world, and then what's the shit you gotta fix, right? So more so, that's what he was basically saying too. So
Just to add one more thing, I'm not just talking about like fixing this image. Like you get a raw talent and you like fix it. I'm talking about somebody does some fucked up shit and you're like, oh fuck. How do you deal with those headaches?
I have one.
That's what I want to hear about. Go ahead.
That's crazy.
Here we go.
That was planned. This was all planned. This is all planned.
That's crazy.
Evil
that's not a
genius.
plan. We fucked it up.
Shout out to
So-
our sponsor,
Yave.
Yave Tequila.
Unlock possibility.
So, once upon a time, there was a very popular soap star. If you ever were to do homework and just Google my name, that's where I even got the name Fixer from. Was when you Googled my name, it would say first Black Hollywood Fixer. I don't think it says it anymore. Like I honestly looked like for real.
What?
I honestly
First
looked
black?
Yes.
Who pinned you the first black? I'm not saying that it's not true, but how did that end up on Google?
Maybe we don't-
Somebody had to pin you that.
So I'm gonna give credit to them. It was a reporter from Wendy Williams,
Oh,
and it was the Panache Report. The Panache Report. That's what it was, and
First
they
black celebrity fixer.
pinned me first Black Hollywood Fixer because at the time, and this was back in like 2008. This was back when like blogs looked like fucking like as far as computer programming looked, it's just like real.
People were
primitive.
still like actually talking
It
to each
looked
other.
primitive.
They weren't just social
it wasn't-
media each other.
Right. This was just the MySpace time, just the beginning of MySpace time period. So that's where I'd actually, like hypothetically, had I done the work that I did back then, now I'd be in Blue Check and one of those other influencers, whatever. Luckily, it happened the way it did. Like I said, I'm so over my own ego, and that's by choice. It didn't have to, like, it's really by choice. And this deals with a lot of the fact that I get bored with the same thing. So I couldn't imagine, I don't have it in me to want to be a star.
okay.
I know how to make a star.
BTS.
I don't
behind the
have
scenes.
the patience that it would take to be a successful star, to interact with your fans,
You're a
to
kingmaker.
do, I would rather be that than sit on the throne.
Is that what so when someone created a star, right? Because it happens all the time, right? I created this star. I found someone and I knew that I could make them a star. That wouldn't the first thing that PR wouldn't come to mind, right? So when you're able to make someone a star, what do you consider yourself at that time? Because you're like PR.
Dead ass. Listen, I keep it moving. I'm so used to it, and I can say a name now, but I didn't even, like I used to when I was managing. My first artist I ever managed out the gate writes currently for Drake, so it's like that's really it's no lie to it. I just want to say the name because I don't want his manager, who now manages Doja Cat. So
You was managing Drake though.
Wait.
So it's just so we heard
No,
you
trace
clear.
back what I said. You know what I mean? I just want to say
I want to make sure you
the
said
artist
the artist that writes for Drake that is one of the
that's
artists
done writing for Drake.
that's done. Like,
Yeah.
done-
His manager is Doja Cat's manager.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so, he's a great manager. He probably doesn't think that I think he's a great manager.
Okay.
But he and I tend to have an off and on, so I won't, out of whatever, say his artist name who I first managed. Just because I don't want to step on toes or
Yeah,
anything.
you managed him before. You managed him before he currently manages.
Yeah, and he's doing a spectacular job doing what he's doing
How's
now,
the artist?
Clearly.
How's the artist doing?
I hear a
He's doing
butt.
fine.
What's
He's
the
doing
artist's
fine.
name?
Then you hear a butt.
I feel like the butt was coming, but I don't know. But I was trying to get the artist's name for the most part. Is it how about this? Because you speaking about Drake, is it an artist from America or artist from Canada?
America.
Oh, okay, because I thought it might have been Tory Lanez. It might have been Tory. I thought you might have had some juicy in here, something like that.
No. I've never.
Thought you might have managed Tory back in the day.
No.
So all right. So how about this, real quick? I'm sorry, John. Real quick, right? He's the host, so I'll be scared to jump in front of this thing sometimes. But anyway,
apparently I'm a little bit mean and a little bit.
He's
of a
mean
bully.
as fuck to me. Pause. You know what I'm saying?
Why is that pause?
I don't know, man. Maybe the word fuck sounded pause. I don't know. Anyway, listen. But Tory Lanez, right? He's been obviously going through a lot. I think he's been doing an amazing job considering.
Has he?
Considering
He has a good PR rep.
Considering
didn't give a fuck. Maybe
he make a lot of people think he innocent. That's not hard. I mean, that's not easy to do when you're dealing with a man to a female. You know what I'm saying? To make a lot of people question Meg. So how do you look? So my question is to you: How have you analyzed? Because I know you have. How have you analyzed his PR strategy?
Was it a strategy?
It had to be.
I don't know anything that went on in that situation. And
Is this the way you started off? It just sounded crazy. I don't know. All right. So is there any type of personal relations that you have with anybody in there that you just don't want to? You don't want to give because you're a very intelligent man, and I know that's a big topic. So for you to say I don't have any type of perspective, that lets me know there has to be a personal friendship going on in the game. Look at him. He almost blushing, man. What's going on? Look, he's tearing. Look, this man tearing. You need a napkin. Get this man a napkin, man.
You're funny.
All right. So we definitely don't want you uncomfortable, brother. So I believe
we got our first tears on the podcast.
Yeah, positive tears though. Positive tears. I believe
you guys broke me to tears.
I believe there was some good PR work behind that, and it definitely you can't be in a.
But wait a minute. Let's not to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Apologies.
Yeah.
But let's not to get too specific into Tory Lanez.
I was just saying as far as
I want to know your perspectives and strategies on things. You don't have to give a name. But I'm sure you've had a situation. I want to know how you fix things.
Okay, so this is just a common sense thing I'm just going to give away. So let's say I had client B that got into a scandal because I'm making this off the fly. Because he jaywalked in L.A. Some cop made a deal of it, and he cursed out the cop and he spit on the cop. Damn. That can be looked at as like a PR's wet dream. That's like, oh my God, like L.A. too? Like that's great primetime media out there. Like I'm thinking all these great things off the rip.
Wait,
like,
what? Wait,
yeah, like it's like
that's
PR's
a positive
wet
thing.
Dream. It's like a PR's wet dream. It's like, oh my God, like the civil rights campaign people I can get behind this and all the phone calls I get to have tomorrow. Like, I told you I'm a nerd when it comes to this PR shit. So it's like, I think about all the possibilities. It's fun. I keep looking at this and it's like, that's what it is. I'm like, all the I'm a
He's
creative.
looking at a sign that says grow big dreams.
So I'm a creative. And so it's like, I'm always thinking of just what can be done. And I draw. So it's like, I'm always thinking of creative things that can sprout from something.
Right.
So I'm always like, and I'm good at math. So add all those things. So I'm always, and I'm making it make sense. Like, because in math, you always have to like correct yourself.
I'm a math guy. Yo, bro.
Right. So
it's my dude, B.
Right.
They my dude.
Pause on that.
I know how to do math, subtraction. Ooh, pause.
Pause. No, I didn't pause. I do.
You know how to add and subtract? Pause.
My bad, Dave. Okay.
But yeah, so all that just culminates into being thankful to whatever higher creator may be. And that was a little bit of Invictus just now. I have to thank whatever higher creator may be because I'm very, very blessed and fortunate to be in a career to get paid for doing something that I find to be a real gift to me. And you mentioned Kingmaker before. I back away from that because I told you earlier I'm over my own ego. And to me, that sounds ego. You know what I mean? That sounds like, for me to say I'm a kingmaker.
You didn't say it, though. I said it.
No. But just for me to even own it sounds like ego. And I try to detach myself because one of the things I moved away from is emotion. And I try to move with less emotion because emotions, to me, the misuse of emotions are flawed. The misuse of emotions creates a fallible man. And I can go further with that, you know, it just wouldn't be as political correct to just go further for real.
But we could go there a little bit.
Yeah, why not?
We could go there a little bit because I'll just say I feel like
I think that
you're right.
I think that the wrong people have raised men to be.
Listen up, bro. We are all men that are over 35. I would assume.
Yeah, I think
Peep game.
I think the wrong people. I think the wrong people have raised minority men to their definition of what a man is without a real man being there to raise a man to the definition of what a man is.
I agree with you.
Like a man cannot be defined by just an ideology. You can't be somebody who's not a man and just teach a child how a man is and how a man is in this world. They're only going to be left to be subjugated by media influences and by things they see with their own eyes. It's just not in their household. So things are in their household is important. A balance of sex is important. You know, like certain things psychologically are important.
But I was going to say what you said before is like the emotions, you've taken them out, but the emotions can't completely disappear. You still have to be aware and acknowledge those. You can't be a slave to them and let them control your.
Here's this. I think certain people, like even artists, right? Passion that lies behind the artwork. I do believe that artists should be as they are.
Yes.
I do think that there needs to be people that function without emotion because those people that operate with emotions have to depend on someone. And it can't be another person that's going to be like, he can't come to me and say, I feel sad about missing my train. He's blown out of proportion. He's crying about it. I can't then cry and hug him and say, me too, I'm so sad. I can't do that. I have to be that grounded person.
But if you're in a studio session with him and you realize you may be going through some shit in your personal life, you would have to acknowledge that.
And be
if he's not performing at the same level he would without those emotions, without that situation, you would have to have some acknowledgement.
Oh, that's dependent. That's dependent. Now it's functional dependency.
To steer him, not cry on him, not let him cry on each other's shoulders.
That's fine.
But you would have to steer him back in the right direction as his
depending on the function,
representative.
Depending on the function of where my dependency lies, depending on that is when I need to go ahead and activate to get him to steer him in the direction he needs to go. However, overall, I know to bring it back end of the day, to get him to be productive, green light. End of the day, I'm not going to let that absorb him to his encompassment. I'm not going to let him be weak.
No.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't just totally disavow emotions. They have to be acknowledged.
Yeah, I can though. I can give off a pseudo version just to suit, like I just explained, just to suit the need and the purpose to achieve. I know how to do that. Just to get over that.
The only way to disavow emotions is to never have the emotions from the start. There's no way, bro. I don't give a damn what human being you are, bro. If you have emotions for someone, yes, it has to be like, obviously, I love this man to death, bro.
You started off with that root, though. You said if you have emotions off the rip already, you create
all right. So you saying something that's like obvious, like you're not saying something like that separates you from everybody else, like. If I don't have no emotions for you from the rip, like I'm not gonna be emotional if you die.
You have to enter into this, but it's not a love-hate thing either. when you start off on a neutrality, it's not a love-hate. You're not worried about that. You're worrying about one thing that's the goal. What's his goal? What's my goal? That's one thing that you worry about off the rip.
And you're
His
like
goal,
this
my
24
goal.
No, I'm not
hours a
talking
day?
about them two. I'm not. I'm just talking about in general. I'm not talking about y'all two.
And it's no. Period.
Oh,
How I believe it should go. Also,
okay.
respect this. I understand his goal, my goal. I like to win.
Right.
I remember people. I was raised in seeing people on TV like Don King, right? I knew off the rip, Don King did not have a pleasant personality. He was not someone that just seemed likable. This nigga can trust Don King because he just said too much out loud. He defied like a 48 laws of power type thing. He said too much.
Went to
However,
jail for
I did.
manslaughter, all kind of shit.
Don King, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was.
see, I
did a
Yeah,
bid.
he
He's
did
right
a
now in
bid
bid?
before.
No,
Before he got big.
Before he was.
Yeah, he
Never
was a
knew.
he was a
I need
criminal.
to watch that. I need to watch
Hands.
tonight.
His
YouTube.
hands.
Yeah.
Strangled?
I'm not gonna. Don't quote me, but
I didn't
That's
know.
what
But
I
he went to
remember.
jail for attempted murder or
Manslaughter.
murder.
No,
Or he
I
killed
want to
him.
hear how he came up anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so sidetracked.
I remember that as a kid. I remember that. My father told me that as a
I
kid.
didn't know.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
interview worthy. So, my parents, when I grew up, they didn't like for me to watch Good Times or to watch What's Happening because it seemed to be shook and jive type black characterization. They didn't like for me to watch things that were just too like black folks looking silly.
Wait, which two you just said?
what's happening in Good Times?
Nah, Good Times wasn't. That what was
Wait,
the
wait,
what was the
wait,
main?
wait.
Oh, real quick. What was the main dude's name? What was the main dude's name? Real quick.
Which show?
George Jefferson?
No, Good Times.
Oh.
Fucking
The nerd?
JJ was
Oh,
not.
no, JJ was in
I love
Good,
JJ, but anyway,
Good
I'm sorry.
Times, yeah.
I love JJ, but again, I'm sorry.
No, and that was I think that was the main antithesis. Like they didn't want anything to do with him.
Really?
Like,
Wow.
JJ was just too he was just too shuck and jive.
I'm dynamite.
Right.
I thought he was being
shuck and jive.
sarcastic the whole time, though.
No,
I
that was him.
thought
That was
all
him.
his character was sarcasm, as opposed to being
As
a
his
second.
character, that was him.
Yeah.
But as an actor, who knows? But as him being the character on that show, that was
So
this is cool to be that guy, you know.
Parents didn't want you watching that stuff.
And they didn't want to see that kind of personality out of me. And so that's one clear thing I remember. Even Married with Children, when I got older and I started watching that, I remember my mom was like, "Oh, you watch that?" I remember that. But my parents were never that type to over intercede, and I'm thankful for that. My parents, weirdly enough, I'm an only child. My parents were they kind of let me just do me. Like I said earlier, down to the way I speak, all that.
You never you never hurt animals or nothing like that because you're
Hurt animals? Oh no. I can see that too. Yeah.
Why you keep saying down to the you that's like the third time you said that. Why you keep saying down to the way I speak? You have something to say about the way like where does that come from?
Oftentimes, your communication is your first representation. And so depending on my audience, the way I speak can be very off-putting and can be it can sound like I'm trying to be better than you, depending on the audience and the ear that I'm delivering it to.
You're measured in when you're talking to your audience, you're
And
aware.
so if you are paranoid about something, your own issue can become my issue because your shit will just come off onto me. You know what I mean? Because I overly pronounced a word, and you now think that I'm correcting you on been there before.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so now I know how to code that before it even gets there. Like, but I also do know how to be immature too.
Right.
I do know how to use this whole shit on the dark side and flip it.
Right.
But I first offer peace because I do believe that stress, anger, all that shit like that, stresses you out, ages you. And I think it creates ailment in your cells to a molecular level. So I really do, I make it my point to be on some woosah for the most part. Woosah.
Woosah.
It's very interesting you look at life like that because I have become an avid fucking YouTuber, right? Like I be looking at YouTube. I start off at fucking Vlad TV interview
Woosah.
and I end
Woosah on YouTube.
and I end up in fucking the jungle of Amazon somewhere, right? But in between that, I find interesting pages that look at life the way you do, right? That, you know, tries to find. I'm sorry, I know I'm going like way deeper into this, but it's very interesting that it took me to when I was like, I'm about to be 40, and I look at life. It seems like you've been like that all your life, right? Like you've been that intrigued in that side of life all your life. Me, I'm just getting there because it's the pandemic. I'm just watching videos but I'm finding interest in that in the way you look at life.
So I'm gonna tell you something right now that both you guys look into. I always mispronounce this, but you'll know how to look it up. It's Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger.
This is hold up.
Tell me again.
Schrodinger's cat.
Is there anything you don't know, bro?
No, that's great though. That you,
bro.
For some reason,
bro.
I can't.
Bro, hold on. Before you get to that story, bro.
Yeah.
This dude right here, because I never said on the podcast yet. I'm gonna make bread off this nigga one day. I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna tell you where. On Jeopardy.
We are
bro.
here for Damon and his audience.
Hold on, but we're gonna get back to that.
Yo,
this motherfucker be knowing shit from out of like. How do you even know that?
It's a thought experiment. Let him expound.
Okay,
that's great.
Let him expound.
I mean, if you're saying I'm smart, I'm gonna say a smart word.
That nigga ain't never. I know that nigga 15 years never said that word before. Let him expound. Okay, bro.
And see, with that segue, I totally forgot what we were just discussing.
Schroding, you were talking about.
Okay, so how a cat can be in a box with toxin, 2 boxes, and toxin in both, and how if you observe the box, after a certain time, the poison is supposed to release, and the cat may or may not be dead or alive. So as far as quantum physics
I was about to say, that's quantum physics.
The cat is both dead and alive because it's not a real fact yet in existence.
Yeah.
So things like that.
You know anything about God? This nigga sit there like,
So things like that.
Yeah.
So here's how it gets really interesting for anybody younger or whatever. It sparked with my ability to draw. So when I drew, I began to recreate and draw superhumans. And then my uncle began giving me comic books like that. Like, swear to God on my life,
Black
Panther. I remember my uncle, Damon Campbell, gave me that comic book. And it's so weird.
That's a comic book cover.
I'm sure.
But that's the same one
from
he
his
gave
time period when he was a
that's
kid.
That's a cover of a comic book, right?
I'm sure.
Sorry, guys.
And so it was so many that he gave me, and I would recreate in my drawing, and I would redraw comic books. And so Marvel was my first, and Black Panther was my first. And I remember the android guy, I can't think of his name right now. He was in the other Avengers.
Iron Man?
No, the bad guy.
Oh, you're talking about
the god. They want to be a god.
And
fuck, can't think of his name.
Ultron.
Ultron, yeah. Ultron was a very prominent villain in a lot of the older comic books, and so I was a really only child that I pieced together how I wanted my world to be. And I pieced together my abilities, my gathering abilities, my ability to make people a little bit better than they would have been if they didn't meet me. And I do feel like, end of the day, I'm contributing my own part of the landscape. Some wealthy people buy homes in acres. I remember hearing a Drake song, the Lemon Pepper, and he mentioned about Rick Ross and the acres. And I remember 193 or 194, something really large. And pause. And so I heard that was good. So I remember, stories of things like that. And I think that's great. I think that when you buy your mom a house and all those things, I know for a fact that, and not to sound vain, but I know for a fact that Damon Campbell has imprinted himself within a lot of what makes things valid and relevant today. I do know that. I can rest solid with that factor because beyond me ever needing to ever brag about anything that I've ever set momentum into, as long as you can know it for yourself. And that's what I preach for everybody. When you know something, an inner truth, when you know something, you know that you're valid. When you know that you're valid, that's what should matter. It really doesn't matter those other drones out there. It really doesn't matter. They're irreliable. Their intellect is irreliable. Why would you want their validation? Like, that goes on a very, very person. That doesn't go for anything I say. Really, I don't tell him this. But just as far as how I go, my personal life, I don't validate anybody's opinion about me. I don't know where your intellect lies, who you're raised by, like who you think is you might fuck things raw. Like, for real, and for me to think that you're valid and you fuck things raw that are undesirable, but you're judging me, like, for real, you might pick your nose. You know what I mean? So many things that might be flawed about you, and I'm caring about if you care about me. Right. That's a weakness.
And that's my whole thought about, I mean, if you don't mind me expounding on that. Can I use that word?
Yes, expounding.
Can I expound on that? But I travel a lot with my family, with my lady, my wife, and I look at situations where I meet people, right? It's always 9 times out of 10, obviously we gravitate to, our black culture when we see people. Oh, you see black people, you look at them, you see if we checking each other, if we gonna link, if we ain't gonna link, keep it moving, right? Mm-hmm. But then you always end up being friends with some white people, right? Always end up being friends with some white people. But then you also look at life and say how big, right? Thinking about, like, I don't want to get too deep, but like outside of Earth, I'm always thinking about aliens and fucking universe and all that shit. And how small we are. How small this moment, I mean, how big it is to us personally, but how small it is in the grand scheme of things in this earth, this moment right here, right? Because of what else is out there. So for me to sit here and be concerned about what the only people that I see me, it would be absurd for me because of how big this world is. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, there's gonna be somebody that likes what someone else doesn't.
So,
however,
wait. So, at the end of the day, don't judge.
Okay.
Don't let people judge you. Don't worry about people's judgments. Mm-hmm. whatever Wes was talking about.
However, we cannot operate that way, though. It's fun to think that way.
I see what he's saying.
We can't operate that way.
What way?
It's set the logical way that you just said. It's only reserved for regular people. That luxury item you just described is only resolved by people that are stock boys at Walmart who can get on social media and say whatever they want to say without repercussion. It's a luxury. You don't have that luxury. You can't say whatever you want to say without fallback.
I want to hear a young man's perspective on all this shit we talking about.
No, I see what he's saying, cause like, you can't really say, like us, we can't really say what we want. You know what I'm saying?
Who's us?
Like, if you looked at as a bigger person type shit, you can't say what you regularly would say as if you was like a regular person.
If you have a platform, he's saying.
Yeah, if you have a type of influence, you can't say what you regularly would say in your like immediate reaction. If you was a regular person, you feel me? Because a regular person don't gotta worry about what are they gonna think about. That's what he's saying. We can't just say don't think about what they think about, because with the business we do, we gotta think about what they think about. Because we gotta make something that they like. You know what I'm saying?
No matter how you put it, I'll never relate to it, because there's no one in this world that every single person on earth that ever put eyes on that person like them. There's no person on this earth, no one, right?
I'll
There's
say
always
this.
someone that you can't.
Hear this good convincing formula. There is what I would say is about to be taboo. For real, there's a Jesus factor, right? For real. Now imagine
Not to be confused with the Jay-Z factor.
right.
Oh, please don't do this, bro. But I see where you're going. But go
So
ahead. Don't do it.
there is a situational chance when you deal with a client that has a really good Jesus factor, where he comes off as no flaws, no wrongs, and you can. Society is what they are, and that's what comes first. And what I do, I look at what's coming before me. What's the army that we have to subdue, whatever, and it's not even a matter of convincing anybody. When you deal with delivering quality, you deliver quality in a way that's conveyable. And now to the rest of the masses that are more or less like the ADD crowd, that's the crowd to where you have to just do your just simple homework as a PR person, just reach that demographic, which is usually quite easy. Especially someone of his caliber is pretty easy to translate to the masses. So it's not a far cry. It's not a huge mission.
Right. So, give me your Instagram and your information again. What is it?
It's at the actual SJ.
The actual SJ on Instagram.
TheActualSJ.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. Shout out to our special guest Damon Campbell.
Wait, I am Damon Campbell.
Jack
Yes,
Lewis
sir.
Pod,
Yes.
episode 8.
We out here.
Sir.